Fundamentally, we have discussed two shear stress, torsion shear stress and direct shear stress, and we have derived one equation based on these two, where instead of shear stress factor, we have considered the wall's concentration factor. So tau is equal to HWD over pi d cube. Then we have understand about the deflection theta and converted the angular deflection into axial deflection delta is equal to 8w c cube and divided by g into d, and stiffness w by delta, that is constant. Also we have understand about the buckling of the spring and then surge, how we can introduce the surge, how we can eliminate the surge by providing some important uh, solutions listed over here. And also we have discussed about these problems of finding the things. Now today we'll discuss about the design of helical springs, and we have to continue with the previous part 1 lecture. And for easy understanding, you must go or see the part 1 into this lecture, so you can easily understand about this. Now we have to see design the closed coil compression spring for a service load. Load is given from 2250 Newton to 2750 Newton. Axial deflection is 6 mm, that is given. Spring index C is given. Permissible shear stress tau for 20 megapascal is given, and modulus of rigidity Z 80 per kilonewton per mm square is given. We have to consider the fully dimensional sketch of the spring have to draw, and ultimately we have to design the spring. So this example will clearly show about the whole design process in systematic way. How just have to see here how we can see that. So first step is design of the spring. First step is design of the spring. And we have already derived the equation tau is equal to W into D by 2, load into distance, load W, pi by 16, tau 1 into dq. Here spring index C is given, that is 5, and tau 1 is equal to 8WD over pi d, 8WD over pi d cube. Some standard notation you have to keep in mind. From this equation, you have to put tau 1 here and calculate the small d from this equation. This is the fundamental design process. You have to find out the small d and use the small d to find out the coil diameter capital D, outer diameter capital DO, and inner diameter capital DI. So that is standard. You have to take it as 5 times of the D, then DO is equal to D plus D, and DI is equal to capital D minus small d. And here C is given as D by D, ratio of the coil diameter to the wire diameter is given. So that you can use. That will give you the relation between 2D, capital D and small d. And that relation can be used to calculate the small d very easily. So this is the way how you can solve the first step. Now second step, number of turns of the spring coil, calculation of N and S. Before doing that, I will clear this all things so you can easily understand about this. Now, how to find out the N, small n and N-S, effective number of the turns. How to decide the effective number of the turns that you have to see. The load range is given 2250 to 2750 Newton. So W is what? W is effective W is 500 Newton. 2750 minus 2250. So that is the effective loading condition. And delta is also given. Delta is the only equation that we have already derived in which n is there. So that is the best equation to find out the n. In sometimes it is sometimes it is given that it may be given n, and in that case you may have to find out the delta. So from this equation you can easily find out the n, number of turns n. Now keep in mind from this equation is that W is given, C is given, G is given, D you already calculated. So that is the ideal equation. Delta is also given 6 mm in this. You can visit the data. You can easily understand. And total number of turns and days. If square and round and are there, then you have to add plus 2. So that is the total number of turns of the spring and days, small n and small n days. So that is the step number 3. So in design process, you have to keep in mind step-by-step process. Step 1 in which you can calculate the diameters, diameter of the wire and diameter of the coil. In step 2, you have to calculate the number of turns. And in step 3, now we are calculating the length, free length of the spring. As we have already discussed in the part 1 lecture, that spring free length of the spring LF is equal to NS, N dash D plus delta maximum plus 0.15 delta maximum. Now we already have data, delta. And if delta is not given, then in that case n is given, then you can easily find out the delta. If n is given, then in second step you have to find out the delta. And delta maximum is this. Delta, that is given delta divided by effective load. Maximum load minus minimum load into maximum load. So under the action of maximum load and effective load, you can easily find out the delta, and that delta maximum you can use in this equation. Both the way you can use this equation. N dash already calculated in step number 2, and small d is already calculated in step number 1. So this is the way how you can easily find out the free length of the spring. Now under this step number 3, आपको क्या करना है? You have to check the possibility of the buckling, as we already discussed the buckling. So buckling के लिए कंडीशन है कि आपकी जो फ्री लेंथ होगी लेस देन और इक्वल टू 5.26 टाइम्स कैपिटल डी होनी चाहिए. Then buckling is not possible. If it is greater than, if LF is greater than 5.26 into D, then आपको simply ऐसे लिखना है कि this spring is not safe under the buckling. But for the ideal condition, for the engineering application or industrial application, your spring length must be safe in buckling. So that is the step you have to keep in mind. Once you have to calculate the LF, then check for the LF by multiplying D with the 5.26 that already calculated in step number 1. Then check whether it is safe or not. So that is the simple thing that you have to keep in mind for safety purpose. Now we have to see the next step. So आपको पिच के बारे में देखना है नेक्स्ट स्टेप में. ये स्टेप एक दूसरे के ऊपर डिपेंडेंट है. आप देख सकते हो यहाँ पे आपने इनिशियली डायमीटर्स को फाइंड किया, सब डायमीटर्स को फाइंड करने के बाद आपने नंबर ऑफ टर्न्स को फाइंड किया. एस डेल्टा इज गिवन एंड इफ डेल्टा इज नॉट गिवन and n is given, then you have to calculate the delta and delta maximum in the step number 2. और स्टेप नंबर 3 में हमने फ्री लेंथ को कैलकुलेट किया और उसको बकलिंग में चेक किया. अब आपको पिच फाइंड करना है. तो पिच के लिए भी एक इक्वेशन है, स्टैंडर्ड इक्वेशन है. देखो आपके पास फ्री लेंथ ये एलएफ है ऑलरेडी आपके पास. सो फ्री लेंथ डिवाइडेड बाय एन डेस माइनस 1. एक आपको माइनस कर देना है वेयर एन डेस इज द इफेक्टिव नंबर ऑफ total number of turns n dash. So n dash is nothing but the n plus 2 that we already calculated in step number 2. Suppose n is given, so no need to calculate the n. In that case, delta may not be given. So you have to calculate the delta in step number 2. In that case, directly you have to take n dash is equal to n plus 2 and easily identify the pitch P. So that is the pitch. So you have to calculate, then you easily find out the pitch. Now here in this case, you have to see in step number 1, again I have repeated these things. आपने d फाइंड किया. अब देखो यहाँ पे di क्या है, तो आपने q माइनस डी लिया, माइनस डी माइनस स्मॉल डी करके देखो यहाँ पे, देखो ये आप d/2 है और यहाँ पे भी d/2 है, तो माइनस डी लिया. और ऐसे ही डी के लिए आपने प्लस डी लिया, तो यहाँ पे सेम में देखो प्लस d/2, ये d/2 है और इस साइड पे भी d/2 है, तो मिला के प्लस डी आपने किया, तो डी आई और डी ओ भी मिल जाएगा आपको. और ये डी जो है क्रॉस सेक्शनल एरिया ऑफ द रिंग वायर, और ये पिच है और ये एल है. सो दिस इज द टोटल dimensions to be calculated and free sketch of the spring. So that is the correct way of designing the compression helical spring. So clear about this compression helical spring? I think it is clear. Now, after understanding the proper design process, आपको एक और भी प्रॉब्लम से फॉर द स्टडी पर्पस इट इज गिवन टू डिजाइन द हेलिकल कंप्रेशन स्प्रिंग. उसमें एक मटेरियल भी दिया हुआ है आपका, स्प्रिंग मेड ऑफ ऑयल टेम्पर्ड कार्बन स्टील के बना हुआ है ये. एंड लोड कंडीशन इज गिवन, सो इफेक्टिव लोडिंग कंडीशन इज 1000 माइनस 100, so 600, W is 600. Spring index C is given. Factor of safety is given, so factor of safety is given, then you have to increase the loading condition. And L shear stress is given, tau endurance stress, दोनों टाइप के स्ट्रेसेस दिए हुए हैं, तो दोनों स्ट्रेस को आपको यूज करना है. व्हेन आपको shear स्ट्रेस दिया होता है तो आप एक ही इक्वेशन यूज करो, दोनों टाइप के स्ट्रेस दिए हुए तो आपको दोनों इक्वेशन को कंबाइनली यूज करना है. और यहाँ पे देखो मैक्सिमम लोड, द कंप्रेशन ऑफ द स्प्रिंग अंडर द मैक्सिमम लोड इज 30 mm, so that is the डेल्टा मैक्स. ठीक है ना, compression of the spring is given delta and G is given 80. Okay, so this is the data given. First of all you have to list out the data given and then accordingly first you have to subsequently follow the design process as discussed in the previous example and try to convert units into single units. As load condition is in Newton, here G is to be converted into Newton per mm square, and this is also megapascal. 1 megapascal is equal to 1 Newton per mm square, and factor of safety 1.25 is given, so that is written here. So what is the hint? I will give you the hint to solve this problem. Here two kind of loading condition is there. So first of all you have to find out the mean W mean, maximum plus minimum by 2, and WV, maximum minus minimum by 2, and you have to calculate the tau m, mean and variable, tau mean and tau v, tau m and tau v by same equation that we have already discussed in the previous example. Just only change is that in initial you have to equation you have to take Wm, and in the subsequent equation you have to take Wv, and for C is equal to d by d is given, and you have to use this equation, Wahl's concentration factor, and 1 upon factor of safety. Why we have taken these things? Because factor of safety is given. So in that case, if factor of safety is given, the main objective is to calculate the tau y, because tau m, tau v, this is the theories of failure. This is called as the theories of failure. So you have to recall your mechanics of solid knowledge, theories of failures, and according to the theories of failures, you have to calculate first the design stress. design stress, and for design stress this is the fundamental equation. In this equation tau m and tau v is not given, but maximum loading condition is given. So depending upon the mean loading condition and variable loading condition, you have to find out the tau m and tau v. Endurance stress is already given in the data, and factor of safety is also given, so you can easily calculate this and then use this equation to find out the diameter small d, and then follow the same procedure as discussed in the previous example for calculating the capital D, then capital DO. Here you can see DO means DI, D plus D, D plus small d, capital D minus small d, then N by use of equation delta, as delta is already given. So you can easily find out N, then N dash is equal to N plus 2, then spring that free length of the spring LF, and then check LF under the buckling, and based on the free length you have to calculate the P. So that is the same process that you have to follow. Only change is what here theories of failures are used. Theories of failures is used here in this example to calculate the design stress, as directly design stress is not given. Endurance stress is given and some variable stresses are given, mean and variable. Mean tau m and tau is to be calculated and then use that equation, because maximum and minimum loading condition is given. Okay, so this is very simple thing that you have to keep in mind. Now we'll clear these things and trying to explain you the upcoming section of the concentric spring. How to design the concentric spring? Now sometimes what happens, we have to need the more force, because single spring cannot be able to achieve the specific advantage. In that case, what you have to do, instead of using the single spring, we have to combine the two spring to get the greater spring force. That is the only thing. And उसमें कुछ ज़्यादा नहीं करना है. ये जो बीच वाला जो एरिया है, capital D, coil diameter capital D of the spring 1 is to be used, in which laser smaller diameter of another spring is to be added to make it composite, so that operation becomes not difficult, and mechanism in the event of the failure of one of the spring, एटलीस्ट एक स्प्रिंग सपोज टूटती भी है, सपोज ब्रेक होती है तो भी एक ऑपरेशन इसका चलता रहेगा एंड इट कैन टेक हैवी लोड, मोर हैवी लोड. सो दैट इज अबाउट द कॉन्सेंट्रिक स्प्रिंग, और उसको कंपोजिट स्प्रिंग भी हम बोलते हैं. कंपोजिट स्प्रिंग में आपको क्या करना है, देखो आपको कुछ नहीं करना है. कंपोजिट स्प्रिंग में हमें दो अलग अलग जो है टाउ उसको लेना है. So tau 1 is the shear stress for the spring 1 and tau 2 is the shear stress for spring 2. ठीक है ना, तो वो आपको लेना है यहाँ पे, और ये दोनों यहाँ पे लिया कि 1 notes to the spring 1 and 2 denotes to the spring 2. उसमें देखो D1 is the wire diameter of the spring 1, D2 is the wire diameter of the spring 2. एंड दोनों के स्ट्रेस लिमिट सेम होनी चाहिए. इफ डिफरेंट लोडिंग कंडीशन इज देयर, डिफरेंट स्ट्रेस इज जनरेटेड, देन देयर इज अ प्रॉब्लम ऑफ फेलियर ऑफ द स्प्रिंग. सो आइडियली वी हैव assumed that tau becomes same for both the spring, and with this concept also stress factor is same. So from this concept ultimately our deflection delta should be same. ठीक है, तो ये लोडिंग कंडीशन आपकी सेम हो गई, ये आपका सेम हो गया, और डिफ्लेक्शन भी आपका सेम हो गया. ठीक है ना, दोनों स्प्रिंग का डिफ्लेक्शन भी सेम हो गया, तो दोनों स्प्रिंग को आप कंबाइन कर रहे हो, तो अल्टीमेटली ये दोनों इक्वेशन सेम ही है. इसमें जो बाकी जहाँ कॉमन चीज थी उसको हमने सब्सट्रैक्ट कर दिया है, जैसे जी मॉड्यूलस ऑफ रिजिडिटी, एंड बेस्ड ऑन दिस इक्वेशन we have achieved N1 into ND1 is equal to N2 into D2, where N is the number of turns and D is the diameter of the wire. So number of turns into diameter of the wire for spring 1 is always equal to number of turns into diameter of the spring 2. So that is the fundamental concept of composite spring or design concept of composite spring that can be used while designing the spring. And डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द एप्लीकेशंस आप इसको ऐसे ले सकते हो। देखो यहाँ पे ये दोनों आपका सेम आपने ले लिया, मल्टीप्लाइंग द इक्वेशन बाय d1 एंड d2, d1 by d1 एंड राइट हैंड साइड बाय d2 by d2 टू मेक इट सिमिलर। सिमिलरिटी को डेवलप करने के लिए ये जो इक्वेशन ऑलरेडी हमने रखा है उसमें हमने क्या किया, लेफ्ट हैंड साइड पे d1 by d1 कर दिया, सो देयर इज नो चेंज ऑन दैट पार्ट। एंड राइट साइड पे हमने क्या किया, d2 by d2 कर दिया, ठीक है ना। एंड डिवाइडिंग दिस इक्वेशन 3 बाय इक्वेशन 1, जो इक्वेशन 1 हमने प्रीवियस स्लाइड में अभी रखा था, तो दोनों को डिवाइड करने से आपको एक इक्वेशन मिलेगा ये d1 by d1 इज इक्वल टू d2 by d2। तो इसका मीनिंग क्या हुआ कि उसका स्प्रिंग इंडेक्स जो है c बेस्ड ऑन दैट स्प्रिंग इंडेक्स भी उसका सेम रहेगा। एंड इक्वेशन 1 एंड इक्वेशन 4 जो हमने डिराइव किया अभी ये इक्वेशन को 4 बोलते हैं हम, तो ये दोनों यदि स्प्रिंग इंडेक्स रेशियो दोनों स्प्रिंग का स्प्रिंग इंडेक्स भी सेम है तो आपका W1 by d1 स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू W2। इक्वेशन 1 में स्प्रिंग इंडेक्स की वैल्यू हम रख लेते हैं, दोनों सेम है इसलिए। सो W1 by W2 इज इक्वल टू d1 स्क्वायर by d2 square. So that is the ratio of the loading condition for both the spring used in the composite manner. So this is the way that you have to keep in mind while designing the concept of the composite spring. Now देखो आप ये रेडियल क्लियरेंस है, यहाँ पे रेडियल क्लियरेंस की सपोज हम बात करते हैं तो कंपोजिट स्प्रिंग में एक रेडियल क्लियरेंस आता है जो नॉर्मली हम यूज करते हैं, और उसको कैलकुलेट करने के लिए आप इक्वेशन को यूज कर सकते हो। C इज इक्वल टू d1 कैपिटल D1 by 2 माइनस कैपिटल D2 by 2 माइनस d1 स्मॉल d1 by 2 प्लस स्मॉल d2 by 2। ये फंडामेंटल इक्वेशन है जिससे आप रेडियल क्लियरेंस बिटवीन द टू स्प्रिंग ये यूज कर सकते हो, बट इतना डिफिकल्ट लेने की जरूरत नहीं है। तो उसको सॉर्ट आउट करके ओमिटिंग दी टर्म्स को ओमिट करके एक ऐसे सिंप्लीफाई किया हुआ है यहाँ पे देखो आप d1 माइनस d2 by 2 इज इक्वल टू d1। तो d1 माइनस d2 by 2 इज इक्वल टू d1 लेके हमने उसको सिंप्लीफाई किया और सिंप्लीफाई करके टू टर्म को ओमिट करके d1 माइनस d2 by 2 एक रेडियल क्लियरेंस इजी वे पे आप ले सकते हो। एंड इक्वेशन जो है अपना इक्वेशन नंबर 4 जो स्प्रिंग इंडेक्स का इक्वेशन अभी हमने डिसाइड किया था, ऑलरेडी डेरिव किया था, दोनों सेम ही रहता है। तो d1 इज इक्वल टू c इंटू d1 एंड d2 इज इक्वल टू c इंटू d2, ठीक है ना। एंड दिस ये दोनों इक्वेशन को आप इक्वेशन 6 में डाल दो, ये d1 की जगह पे c इंटू d1 डाल दो, ये इक्वेशन c इंटू d1 आप यहाँ पे डाल दो, एंड c इंटू d2 जो आप है आप यहाँ पे डाल दो, ठीक है ना। तो c इंटू d1 माइनस c इंटू d2 by 2 इज इक्वल टू आपका हो जाएगा d1, और c इंटू d1 माइनस 2 इंटू d1 इज इक्वल टू c इंटू d2, ठीक है ना। So ultimately by solving this d1 by d2 ratio of the two diameters, ratio of the two wire diameters are c divided by c minus 2. So that is the main fundamental concept. Now to keep in mind this each and every equation that may be benefited for calculating the examples. It may be helpful to you. ठीक है, तो मैं आप कर देता हूँ।